So tonight, we're going to talk about World War II artifacts from the Hayes Library and Museum. This is my son, Ethan.
Hello.
And he is up against one of my displays. So we're going to talk about some of the headgear worn in World War II, first of all. So the first thing he's going to show you is an Italian helmet. Okay, the Italian Army was part of the Axis forces from 1939 to 1943. 1943, they switched sides. So, if you're ever in the war, you want the Italians on the other team. They're not trustworthy allies. Okay, go ahead, put that down. We can sit down, that's fine. Somewhere. The next helmet is a World War II British helmet. Very similar to the World War I Doughboy helmet that we saw when we did the artifacts from World War I. Put it on, Ethan. You look like a Tommy. A Tommy is what they call the British soldiers in World War II. All right, thank you. The next headgear he's going to wear is a U.S. Navy. They call this the Donald Duck hat. They had the standard white, and then they had this navy blue. Shows the Navy. Ethan, are you going to wear it?
I think this is the front.
It is. That's the front. Navy. Take it off and let's look at it. Yeah, there you go. Turn around, upside down. Yeah. Very good. The next artifact is a World War II German helmet. This is worn by a group called the Luftwaffe, which was the German Air Force. If you see the, let's put that, yeah. That emblem right there signifies Luftwaffe. It's called a single decal because it's only on one side of the helmet. There's no decal on the other. So. You show us there? Oh, yeah. You want to put it on? It's kind of smallish. It needs to have a fitted liner, I think, but go ahead and take that off. You look ridiculous. Thank you. The next thing on the show is a German canteen.
I think
that's it. This canteen I got on the Normandy battlefield. I was in France about 4 years ago, touring the battlefields of Normandy, and this shop is selling artifacts, and so I bought this one. Pretty nice little, unscrew it. If I wanted to, I could still use it, but I'm not. Ethan's trying to see if it has some French wine in it. It
No.
doesn't.
the thing that
The next thing will be a World War II German mess kit. This is the mess kit. Now, this is what they would keep their food in. Go ahead and open it up.
there we go.
Open it up. It has several compartments, different foods, and then in the bottom we have the utensils. There you go. These utensils are not original to the mess kit. I bought those. Actually, I think they're Army surplus, but it's kind of cool. We got some kind of can opener. Corkscrew, yeah. Fork, knife, and fork and spoon. All right. Good. Put that. Now, one thing I do want to show you. Oops, didn't mean that to happen. Lost my lighting. Get this lighting back on, Ethan. There you go. All right. Next I'm going to show you, now this is kind of off color. It's a little figurine. Hold it up. Bring it closer to camera, please. Okay, so this is a young teenage girl who is with child. She got pregnant. Turn around. And this is something that the British made. And at the bottom, it says, Kilroy was here. Now, during World War II, U.S. servicemen would write Kilroy was here. It was kind of a novelty thing they would just write. And apparently, Kilroy was there. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, put that up. Next thing I'm going to show you are some grenades. The first is an American, what we call a pineapple grenade. This is actually a dummy grenade. The charge has been removed. They would take these, use them for practice. Okay, put that up. And then the next thing I'm going to show you is a German grenade. This is what they call a potato masher. Now this grenade has been refurbished. They replaced the explosive head on it, and they polished the wood, but this was, I believe there's a date on it. You see the date? I think it's 1938 or something like that. What's the date?
1939.
39, sorry. All right, thank you. The next thing I want to show you is a Japanese canteen. This was a relic of the Battle of Okinawa. It's not quite as well put together as a German canteen, but it serves its purpose. It has to carry water, right?
Or sake.
Or sake, yeah, that's right. Okay, the next artifact will be a U.S. Army mess kit. Go ahead and open it up. This mess kit was used by the American Army, Navy, and Marines. It could be used to, it has a handle that extends out. It could be used to cook your rations. Add water. You can serve it up. All right. Go ahead and close it. Now, if you were ever in Boy Scouts, the Boy Scouts adopted this design also. They still use it. All right, so now I'm going to show you all some Japanese artifacts. I'm going to show you a Japanese Tanto dagger. This was taken at the Battle of Okinawa also. Okinawa was the last battle fought in the Pacific. Ethan, bring it to the camera. Let's see the blade. Now this Tanto knife had a very specific purpose. The Japanese believed that it was dishonorable to be captured. And instead of being captured, when they knew that all their bullets had been shot, all their grenades had been exploded, they take this out and they would cut themselves across the stomach and commit what they call harikiri. Suicide. They would stick that in their gut and rip it across. Yeah.
Death before surrender.
The next thing I'm going to show you is a captured Japanese banner. And this was taken at Okinawa also. I have a lot of stuff from Okinawa. My grandfather fought there. But this is called what they call the Japanese meatball. But actually it's not the rising sun. It's called the, I don't know, it's Japanese. Turn around. It's made out of silk. Thank you so much. The next artifact is a planter. Now this planter was brought over by my dad's cousin Bruce. Now he was in the Army Air Corps, now known as Air Force. And he was served in England. He was a navigator. He flew B-17s. And what a navigator does is he plots the route for the bombing run. So that's what Bruce did. And this planter is Sir William Churchill. Now, Sir William Churchill was the British Prime Minister during World War II. Turn it around. There's the planter part, so you could stick soil in there and plant a plant. And he brought that over from my grandmother, and she kept it. When she died, I got it. Now we're going to go over here to the other part of the museum. Here's my Civil War stuff. Now right here, we have some Soviet stuff. Now the Soviets were our allies during World War II. So pick up the helmet. This is a Soviet battlefield relic from the Battle of Kursk. Kursk was the great tank battle between the Nazis and the Russians fought in 1943, largest tank battle in history. This helmet is in pretty poor shape. It's rusted through. Show us the bottom of it, Ethan. Yeah, it's rusted through pretty much. It's kind of cool to have. All right, set that aside. Now we have a Soviet mess kit. This was also found at the battlefield of Kursk. Pick it up, please. That's a cup and spoon. Ethan, pick it up. Pick it up again. Okay. So this is a bowl and the plate. Can you show us the bowl and the plate, please? Turn it upside down. I could probably use the plate if I wanted to, but I think this bowl has a hole in it, right?
I don't see one.
Oh, the cup does that, I'm sure. Yeah. Another thing I'm going to show is a Soviet oiler. Now, they would carry these little things of oil because in severe cold weather, which you did have on the Eastern Front in World War II, things would freeze over and you have to put some oil on it to unfreeze it. So that's called that oiler. Thank you. Now over here we have, I'm going to show you two things. The first thing is a ration bag. Now in wartime you had to ration stuff, and so what they did, the Germans did, you got this canvas bag, you took it to the store and they filled it for you. So this is what the bag would look like. There's the German swastika and eagle. And I think on the other end, there's a year on it.
Yep, 1943.
Yes, so 1943. Now open it up, show them how big it is. So they put bread and whatever in there. That's like a reusable grocery bag. Now what the Germans did, just so you know, Hitler was like the first green environmental person. He believed in recycling everything, and that's the purpose of the shopping bag. Now if you go to HEB, you still have your bags you can carry, right? You have a freezer bag, and people reuse them, so Hitler started that. Next I'm going to show you is a German banner. This is a Nazi swastika. This was captured in a little village near the city of Frankfurt. The swastika, of course, is the symbol of Nazi Germany. It's also kind of a universal sign for evil. Now the swastika has been used in many cultures. The Navajos used it as I believe, a symbol of the circle of life. And I think the Hindus, the swastika meant reincarnation. I have to double check that. But the Nazis turned it into something different. So today it's kind of hard to fly swastika without thinking Nazi Germany. Okay, put that up. Awesome. Now we're going to come over here to my library. Trying to show you some stuff. I got a lot of stuff in this house. Ethan, take this book. Now this book deals with the Doolittle raid. The Doolittle raid was the attack on Tokyo by American bombers. And I got this book, it's been about 15, almost 20 years ago. Ethan and I went to the last Doolittle flyer reunion over at Stinson Field on the south side. And the surviving members of the Doolittle raid signed it. So open it up. Got their autographs. Here we go. So there's their names. They tell you which plane they flew, like number 7, number 16, number 5. This guy, R.E. Cole, he was the last survivor of the Doolittle raid, and he was the co-pilot on the plane flown by Colonel Doolittle himself. He was from Texas. He was from Comfort, which is about 50 miles north of here, going towards Kerrville. And he died, I think, 2 years ago. Last survivor. I'm going to show what I have under glass over here. Polish National Army. I still need to find someone who speaks Polish to get that interpreted. But the Polish Army during World War II, they went underground in Poland. And then the ones who weren't captured, they fought on the Allied side. Here's a picture of my grandfather and one of his crewmates. My grandfather's the one on the right. These are some of the certificates my grandfather got as he was training. Now during the invasion of Okinawa, this picture shows the Army guys going over. The Battle of Okinawa was not a Marine operation, it was the Army. My grandfather drove the landing craft to the invasion beach of Okinawa. This is a Japanese plane they shot down. Kind of cool. There's an aircraft carrier. I wish I knew the name of it, but I don't. Again, here's a picture of my grandfather and his buddies on shore leave in San Francisco. That's my grandfather right there. My papaw. This is a sugar ration my grandmother got. They were Lita Hayes. They rationed sugar in those days. Here's a picture of some Japanese soldiers. This is found also on a dead Japanese body at Okinawa. Not by my grandfather. This is something I bought from a collector. Here's a postcard, again from the reunion of the Doolittle Flyers. I'm gonna have Ethan move some of this stuff over so I can show y'all more. Ethan's been a good help today. This certificate is kind of a rare one. And I never bring this to school. This is a memory card. They had a ceremony to celebrate the anniversary of the sinking of the Bismarck, and it's signed by Erich Raeder, who was the head of the German Navy. Here's an autographed picture of Robert Scott. He wrote a book called God's My Co-Pilot. He shot down 22 airplanes. That's his autograph. He wrote a book called God is My Co-Pilot. I've read it several times. And it was made into a movie. Here are some stamps of Adolf Hitler. These are real. They're under glass though. Of course, Adolf Hitler was the dictator of Germany, World War II. This is my Uncle George. Uncle George fought in World War II. He was in Patton's Third Army. He drove a tank, and he's the one that brought back the swastika banner. After the war, he's a highly decorated police officer, a detective in Houston. Here's an autograph of a German Luftwaffe ace named Günter Rall. And he's getting decorated by Adolf Hitler himself. Got his autograph. He survived the war and he commanded the West German Air Force. Well, I don't think he was I think he was the overall commander. But during the Cold War, West Germany reformed their armed forces and he was on our side. All right, so that's it from the Hayes Library Museum. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. Good night.